Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us at 7 o'clock. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa in for Caitlin Newglow. And you are watching Eyewitness News on the Wax on this Wednesday. It is March 5th already. We have a lot to get to, but first, we do have to focus on the weather because meteorologist Jill Gilardi is tracking a first alert weather day for us because of some heavy rain headed our way.
Heavy rain, a strong and gusty wind at times. Now, we need the rain, but, too much in a short period of time can cause, obviously, some localized flooding for drainage areas, and certainly is going to impact travel this evening. So the main time frame is from 5 to 11 p.m. from west to east. It's going to last about 2 to 3 hours for your location and could put down up to an inch and a half of rainfall. Now, the winds will be gusting 30 plus, and on occasion you could get a gust even over 40 miles per hour. So we're just preparing for that rain. Hopefully no limbs down or a power outage, but that could be a random issue across the state. Light rain has been moving across portions of Litchfield County, clipping northwestern Hartford County. Otherwise, we are mainly dry as we kick off the day. Yeah, it's been a little dreary right now in and around the Torrington area, a little damp with that light rain that has pushed through. It has cooled the temperature of the rain to 38 in Salisbury. Otherwise, we have 40s across the state. And the hour-by-hour forecast showing you the 40s become 50s later this morning. And we'll see, again, a random shower or a period of light rain can't be ruled out. But the main round is going to be building in, especially this evening. So inland anytime after about 4 o'clock from west to east, that rain heavy at times will move in. You can't even rule out some rumbles of thunder, but more on that first alert weather day and what's it looking like for the weekend coming up a little later. Let's get an update on traffic with Caitlin.
All right, thanks, Jill. 7:02 here. If you're just waking up with us on your Wednesday morning on the Wax, we appreciate that. Now, we're not dealing with all of that crazy weather that we're expecting later this afternoon and this evening. So if you're heading out the door right now, just make sure that you're prepared for the afternoon and evening commute. However, I am following a breaking first alert here for you. This is in West Haven. You see all that red that just popped up on your screen? We've got delays on both sides of the interstate. 95 southbound, though, is where this crash has taken place. Between exits 44 and 43, we do have the left and center lanes blocked off, which you can very clearly see here with emergency crews that have arrived, making sure that things are going to get cleaned up and cleared. We've got that right-hand lane that remains open, so we're dealing with nearly 2 miles of delays on the southbound side. Things also, as you can see, slowing down here on the northbound side, heading towards New Haven. So unfortunately, this is going to slow you down, especially if you're traveling through the area. Rest of the state, though, looking fine here in Waterbury, Meriden, Middletown, and in Hartford. And let's leave you with your drive times. As you can expect, those delays down through 95 southbound towards the George Washington Bridge, almost a 100-minute ride. Let's quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
It was a big night in Washington as President Trump gave a speech to a joint session of Congress for the first time since taking back the Oval Office.
It was the longest speech any president has given to Congress, clocking in at more than an hour and a half. The president touted the changes he has made to the federal government since January 20th, including massive cuts. He also praised Elon Musk while taking shots at the Biden administration, even blaming former President Biden at one point for the price of eggs.
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control, and we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration.
Well, there were many times you could hear Democrats disagreeing with the president's claims. At one point, Texas Congressman Al Green was escorted out of the hall after the president said he won the popular vote by, quote, big numbers.
And the reaction has been pouring in this morning following President Trump's address to Congress. Marcy Jones has more on what people here in Connecticut are saying.
That's right. This was clocked as one of the longest presidential addresses to Congress in history. So, of course, there's abundance of material to react to. At Channel 3, we received hundreds of Facebook comments with a wide range of reactions to President Trump's speech, some saying America is back, others encouraging stronger opposition. As in response to President Trump's speech, Senator Richard Blumenthal did not hold back or mince words, saying Trump's remarks brought out the worst in his fellow congressional colleagues, saying, quote, President Trump spun a fictional world pandering to prejudice and grievance untethered to reality. He brought out the worst in my congressional colleagues and the country. Meanwhile, the Connecticut Republican Party praised the speech, saying that President Trump presented an America First agenda. Your reporter in Newington, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And we want to know what you think. What did you think? What was your takeaway when you watched President Trump's speech last night? So about 45% said that they liked President Trump's speech, while 55% said that they did not. We will have this non-scientific poll up on WFSB.com/vote now, so you can weigh in now and let us know what you think.
Well, the Trump administration could sell off hundreds of non-core federal properties, including 2 right here in Connecticut. The William Cotter Federal Building in Hartford and the Torrington Social Security Office could be up for sale. The General Services Administration says the government could save money in operating costs by selling those buildings, but it did not say where the employees who work in those buildings would go.
And we're learning that the IRS could cut half of its employees, leaving nearly 50,000 people out of a job.
Our partners at the Associated Press are reporting the cuts could come through a mix of layoffs, attrition, and buyouts. Right now, we're working to learn more about a potential timeline.
This all comes after nearly 7,000 probationary employees were laid off last month. And we're also learning more about a Bristol educator accused of having child sex abuse material. 25-year-old Jacob Senek is facing several charges after being arrested. He was working as a paraprofessional with the special ed program at Bristol Eastern High School. And once the superintendent learned of the arrest, Senek was immediately relieved of all duties. The Board of Ed says that they didn't know Senek was under investigation until the arrest. And police tell us that they were limited in the information that they could release before his arrest yesterday.
Also in your local headlines, a man accused of killing his own son and girlfriend remains in police custody on a $3 million bond this morning after pleading not guilty to the charges against him. Police say Javon Fletcher stabbed his young son and girlfriend Haley Miller to death in West Haven on February 15th. Police say Fletcher then jumped out of a second-story window to escape police. He's due back in court on May 13th.
And right now, a Bolton man is facing some horrific animal cruelty charges after police say he dragged his dog behind his car. We just want to warn you, these details are very disturbing. Trey Patrice, seen here, is accused of driving with a pit bull tied to the back of his car on Buckland Road in South Windsor Monday. We're told that he initially lied to police, saying that the dog was hurt after jumping out of the car window. The dog ended up having some road rash on its paws and its underbelly, but the good news is that dog is expected to recover.
Well, right now, we're working to learn if police have a suspect in custody after a scary situation in Manchester. Police say some type of disturbance led to someone firing a gun right near exit 62 on I-84 eastbound just before 10:30 last night. Fortunately, police say no one was hurt.
And this morning, we're also working to get you some more information about a car crash and a fire. So this ended up hurting 2 people right on Route 2 eastbound in Norwich. Here's what happened. Police say that the victims were out of the vehicle trying to change a flat tire right on the shoulder of Route 2 eastbound, right by exit 27 yesterday. That is when another driver ended up crashing their car into that car, and we know one of the victims suffered some pretty serious injuries. The other driver told police that he was not hurt.
Well, this morning, we now know what comes next for funding the governor vetoed for special education and nonprofits.
Lawmakers have come to a compromise, and your reporter, Olivia Schuler, is breaking down the new plan that will be voted on later today.
Governor Lamont vetoed $43 million towards special education funding, and that put a rift between lawmakers and the governor. But now a decision has been made for that $43 million to be used from the state surplus. Lawmakers originally planned to override the governor's veto, but now that's no longer necessary since agreeing to take from the state's surplus. Special education funding was also a hot-button issue brought up by the Connecticut Education Association during yesterday's Day of Action. It was top on educators' list of priorities.
Education is the cornerstone of growth. It is the investment we make not just in today, but in the future.
Lawmakers will now vote today on whether or not to use that $43 million from the state surplus. And we're told that in the state surplus, there's about $400 million. Your reporter in Hartford, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, good morning, everyone, on this first alert weather day. Well, the day starts off with a few showers. Otherwise, it's cloud cover. The main round, it moves in this evening, and we're talking about heavy rain and a gusty wind on this first alert weather day. All right, so right now on first alert live radar, light rain kind of skirting the northwest and now the north central part of our state. Otherwise, we are dry out there, just kind of overcast, but it's mild. New Haven, it's 47 degrees. Winds are calm at that location. The breeze will pick up today. Temperatures will be climbing into the 50s, and then the rain arrives as we settle into the evening. So highs today, again, most places in the low 50s, mid 50s possible. Yeah, across Harford County. And then we're warming into the low 50s across the Quiet Corner, all the way down towards the shoreline, despite the fact that that flow will be coming off of the sound. So mild, breezy, light rain chances early on, but then that heavy rain we're tracking coming up here very shortly for this evening. Nicole?